Have you ever wondered why your cat insists on sleeping right on you, in the most unlikely spots? Have you noticed that strange feeling when they stare at an empty space, as if seeing something you can't? How many times have you woken up to the gentle weight of your cat resting squarely on your chest, stomach, or even your legs, as if they knew exactly where your pain or fatigue was? Now, imagine that behind all these seemingly common behaviors lies a deep purpose, a mystery that transcends everyday understanding. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like to access more stories like this. What if I told you that you're not just serving as a comfy pillow for your feline companion, but rather participating in a silent ritual of energetic healing every time they come near you? Have you ever stopped to think that your cat's simple purr might be influencing not only your mood, but even your physical and emotional health, in ways science is only just beginning to unravel? Before we dive into this mystery, go ahead and like this video, comment below on your cat's strangest or most magical behavior, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any surprising revelations about the hidden universe of felines. Yes, because what you're about to discover about the connection between cats and humans will transform the way you look at your furball from now on. Getting back to the point, why do cats have this almost hypnotic fascination with humanity? Why, in almost every culture around the world, do these animals appear surrounded by symbols, legends, and even sacred reverence? Prepare yourself, because the answer to all of this is much deeper and even spiritual than you imagine. Stick with me, because today's journey will open doors to dimensions you didn't even know existed. Imagine for a moment, you arrive home exhausted, feeling the weight of the day's worries. Without a word, your cat softly jumps onto the couch, snuggles up next to your body, and begins to purr, emitting that mesmerizing sonic vibration. Is it just a search for warmth and affection? Or is there something more going on? What if I told you that cats are in fact true energy scanners and healers? Yes, that's right. Some believe these felines possess an extrasensory sensitivity capable of detecting energetic imbalances in the human body, instinctively directing themselves to areas of physical pain, emotional imbalance, and even spiritual exhaustion. The phrase might sound exaggerated, but think about it. What if your cat is healing you every night without you realizing it? It's no coincidence that, in reports worldwide, people describe feeling relief or even significant improvement in symptoms after long periods of contact with their cats. If you've experienced this, write it in the comments. You'll be surprised how many people share similar experiences. Some say that cats act as living filters, absorbing and transmuting negative energies from the environment and the people around them. That's why they often lie precisely on areas of our body that are overloaded or sensitive. Have you noticed how cats prefer to lie on top of injuries, inflammations, or even places of greater sadness and fatigue? This behavior, which many consider just a whim, could be the tip of the iceberg of a much broader energetic phenomenon. But where did this idea come from? Is it just superstition? Or are there deep cultural and historical foundations that support this belief? That's what we'll start exploring now. Our relationship with cats is ancient. In ancient Egypt, for example, the cat was a symbol of protection, spirituality, and a direct link to the divine. Bastet, the cat goddess, was celebrated not only as a protector of homes, but as the mistress of portals between worlds, guardian of invisible energies and the secrets of the universe. Egyptians believed that cats had access to dimensions beyond human perception, being able to see and interact with spiritual entities. And this mysticism wasn't restricted to the African desert. Among the oracles of Greece, the Magi of Persia, the Celtic shamans, and even the monks of Japan, we find reports of cats being in rituals of healing, meditation, and energetic protection. In various cultures, cats were considered true living shields, capable of absorbing evil spirits and protecting the human soul against invisible attacks. But perhaps one of the most intriguing accounts comes from the 20th century through Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet. Cayce, in his Altered States of Consciousness, affirmed that cats have an essential spiritual role on Earth. They are the ones who take care of the denser energies and act as guardians of the passages between planes. For Cayce, Felines function as true energetic purifiers, being instinctively attracted to places and people in a state of spiritual vulnerability. And we can't ignore another fascinating detail: the fact that, throughout history, the cat has been simultaneously revered and feared. During the Middle Ages, for example, cats were associated with witchcraft and persecuted precisely because of their aura of mystery and power, as if there was, in fact, something magical, inexplicable, and even dangerous in their proximity to the invisible world. Now pay close attention. In all these accounts, the cat's role is not simply that of companionship, but of a spiritual partner, a being who at the same time protects, heals, alerts, and even teaches. Could it be that, by bringing a cat into your home, you're opening doors to a much larger journey than you imagine? But what about science? What does it have to say about all this? Would it just be coincidences fueled by myths and beliefs, or is there nowadays a rational explanation for the energetic influence of cats on us? Be surprised, what was once called feline superstition is finally beginning to be understood and validated by modern science. And perhaps the greatest proof of this lies in the curious phenomenon of purring. For a long time, it was speculated that cats' purring was just a sign of satisfaction or relaxation. Today, thanks to scientific research, we know that purring has a specific frequency, usually between 25 and 150 hertz, that has a direct effect on the human body. Studies published in international medical journals show that this sound vibration is capable of promoting muscle relaxation, stress reduction, decreasing anxiety, and even accelerating bone and tissue healing. Fascinating, isn't it? But it goes further. Researchers from the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America revealed that frequent exposure to cat purring is associated with a decreased risk of heart disease in humans. That's right. People who live with cats may have greater longevity and better cardiovascular health, according to several surveys. But science also confirms what the ancients already intuited. Cats are capable of detecting subtle changes in energetic and even behavioral patterns in those around them. Studies in ethology show that they perceive micro-variations in heart rate, temperature, and body odors, including minimal changes that precede epileptic seizures or severe anxiety episodes. These modern discoveries, which unite biology, psychology, and the physics of vibrations, fit almost perfectly with the millennia-old accounts of the healing and mediumistic power of cats. After all, how to explain the accurate instinct to lie on tumors, wounds, or even unbalanced chakras, if not by an intelligence beyond the ordinary? The most impactful thing is realizing that the boundary between science and mysticism is becoming increasingly blurred. Today, researchers are beginning to explore the effects of feline sound vibrations on the nervous system, neurotransmitters, and even the human electromagnetic field. Everything indicates that yes, cats are true, energetic bioengineers. They use their body and consciousness to balance, harmonize, and, in many cases, prevent diseases in those around them. But have you ever stopped to analyze exactly where your cat chooses to lie down? Is there a pattern, a wisdom behind these seemingly random choices? How does this connect with concepts of chakras, meridians, and vital energy points in our body? If these questions made you more curious, comment below on which part of your body your cat usually lies. And if you believe it does, you good. And of course, don't forget to share this video if you know someone who needs to see cats in a new light. Get ready, because in the next chapters we're going to dive deep into the most enigmatic behaviors of felines and show, with real examples, how they can diagnose, heal, and even transmute emotions, pain, and heavy energies. If you think you've seen everything about cats, wait for what's next. Pause for a moment and observe the silence. Remember the times your cat calmly approached, with that almost hypnotic gaze, jumping on the bed, on the couch, or even on you, precisely choosing a specific spot on your body to recline. Is it a coincidence? A mix of seeking warmth? Or are we facing something much more sophisticated than a simple behavioral explanation? Have you noticed that at times, your cat always seems to choose to lie on that aching joint, on your chest when you're anxious, on your stomach when you're having digestive problems, or even near your face when you're sad? Almost as if your feline has the ability to see beyond the surface, perceiving vulnerable areas, emotional blockages, or even illnesses before you even suspect. What many guardians tell, with sparkling eyes, is a true process of intuitive, almost supernatural diagnosis. The secret, mystics and scholars say, lies in how cats perceive not only the physical world, but also the subtle flows of vital energy, known in many traditions as prana, chi, or life force. According to Hindu tradition, our body is intertwined by chakras, energy centers that regulate not only physical health, but emotions and even spiritual connections. Now imagine that your cat can perceive with fine precision when one of these chakras is blocked, overloaded, or out of balance. That's why if your cat insists on sleeping on your chest, it could be a sign that your heart chakra, anahata, needs harmonization. If they opt for your belly, they may be working on the solar plexus chakra, related to self-esteem and willpower. Those who lie on your feet are acting on the base chakras linked to the feeling of security and grounding. And it doesn't stop there. Reports from around the world suggest that cats even act on acupuncture points, the same ones used in traditional Chinese medicine to unblock energy flows and restore organic health. They instinctively seek regions where there is a concentration of energetic stagnation, as if they were true silent therapists, always attentive to what is out of alignment. It's no wonder that various holistic therapeutic approaches use the presence of cats to accelerate recovery processes, both physical and emotional. In meditation centers, hospitals, and even nursing homes, cats have been documented inducing well-being, decreasing heart rate, and even stimulating the production of serotonin and endorphins just by the simple act of being with humans. But, after all, where does this incredible ability to perceive and act on the invisible come from? Where science ends, the realm of the intuitive, the mysterious, that which escapes rationality, begins. This is the point where reason makes way for enchantment, and where cats transform, not into pets, but into true masters of energetic diagnosis. Now, take a deep breath and allow yourself to remember. What was the most striking situation in which your cat guessed your suffering or anxiety, offering comfort, snuggling, or simply lying on you? Share your story in the comments, because the more you observe, the more you realize that your furry companion might know more about you and about your inner state than you do yourself. Perhaps the scene is familiar to you, a difficult day, tears streaming down your face, a heavy heart, and suddenly, there they are, your cat, silent but intense in their gaze. They approach, lean their head, purr slowly, offer the warmth of their own body, and in a few minutes, the anguish seems to dissolve, giving way to a strange sense of peace, comfort, and even hope. Have you noticed how much cats are attracted to moments of grief, pain, or stress? This goes far beyond empathy. In energetic psychology, there's the concept of energy vacuums, spaces left by trauma, loss, or repressed emotions, as if parts of our body and aura become vulnerable to negative influences or simply lack vital force. And it's precisely in these moments that cats come into action as true energetic plugs, or living transmuters. They perceive, at almost imperceptible levels, the oscillations of human emotional fields. Scientists have already demonstrated cats' ability to pick up micro-variations in hormones, such as increased cortisol during stress episodes, or the release of pheromones of sadness and fear. But feline sensitivity is not limited to chemistry. Reports accumulate from all over the world of cats that, faced with a depressed or sick human, drastically change their behavior pattern. Some cats become closer, more insistent, make a point of staying by their guardian's side, as if they know their mission, at that moment, is to hold things together, support, comfort, and even bear the emotional weight of the environment. Others, more reserved, simply observe from afar, but still monitor every change in the energetic state of the people around them. And there's something even more fascinating. Cats have the incredible ability to transmute dense energy, absorbing part of the weight of pain or fear and transforming it into peace and relief. That's why it's not uncommon to hear stories of people who, after experiencing great losses or traumas, report that they only managed to face the difficulties thanks to the constant and miraculous presence of their felines. This transmuting quality makes cats true emotional alchemists, capable of transforming tears into serenity, anger into understanding, and above all, loneliness into belonging. Their purr at these times becomes almost a mantra, a primordial sound, a wave of vibration that undoes internal blockages and reorganizes misaligned emotional patterns. So much happens, often without us realizing it. And perhaps therein lies the greatest beauty of the bond. In absolute silence, in a subtle gesture, in a constant and true presence. Cats teach us with their quietness the value of the present moment and show us that even in the darkest hours there is light. You just need to know where to look. And you? Have you been saved by your cat in difficult moments? Have you felt that inexplicable peace after a simple contact with your feline companion? Tell the world. Your story might be the hug someone else needs today. Now let's dive into some of the most impressive and touching stories from the feline universe, accounts that defy logic and invite us to rethink everything we know about the role of cats. Let's start with the famous case of Oscar the cat, a resident of a nursing home in Rhode Island, USA. Oscar became internationally known for his strange talent. He predicted with surprising accuracy the death of terminally ill patients, lying next to them hours before they passed away. Doctors and nurses began to consider his presence almost a sacred warning. When Oscar chose a bed, they knew that would be the patient's last breath. Was it just a coincidence? The professionals themselves, incredulous, began to see Oscar as a being endowed with extra sensitivity, capable of perceiving subtle transitions between life and death. And it doesn't stop there. There are reports of cats who warned about tumors, infections, and serious conditions even before any medical diagnosis. A British guardian recounted that her cat insisted on lying on her right breast, meowing and showing restlessness. Impressed, she sought a doctor and discovered early-stage cancer, saving her own life thanks to her feline's unusual behavior. In Italy, a lady reported that her cat started to lick her knee insistently, ignoring the rest of her body. Days later, the pain increased. Upon examination, she was diagnosed with a serious vascular problem, treated in time due to her suspicion of the animal's insistence. Cases like these, added to those of cats who sense epileptic seizures, heart attacks, or even major family tragedies, multiply without ever losing their mystery. But the evidence goes beyond physical illnesses. There are countless reports of cats acting as true emotional shields in families marked by conflicts, irreparable losses, or moments of profound transition. Such cats completely change their routine. They start following family members from one room to another, sit at the door during intense discussions, and even emit specific sounds, as if trying to harmonize the environment, prevent fights, or soothe tensions. In many cases, after the passing of a loved one, the household cat ends up becoming the spokesperson for the longing. They intensify their closeness with those who remain, become more affectionate, and even imitate the deceased's behaviors, as if trying to keep the memory alive and provide silent comfort. Such stories are not simple sentimental coincidences. They reveal an invisible link between cats and humans, a kind of silent pact in which these beings act as a bridge between worlds, as translators of our deepest feelings and healers of our most fragile points. And, if you think all this is restricted to a few people, you're mistaken. Just open forums, cat lover groups, or ask any guardian to realize that thousands of experiences, reports, and healing stories circulate every day, silently. There is a thread of magic, or perhaps science not yet fully understood, uniting all these occurrences. Now think and feel. How many moments in your life have been softened, healed, or even transformed by the presence of a cat? How many silent signs have you already received? If these stories touched you, leave your testimony in the comments. After all, everyone's experience can be the missing piece to decipher, together, this enchanting and mysterious universe. Whatever your story, if there's a well-kept secret in the hearts of felines, perhaps it can be understood not just as a mystery to be unveiled, but as an invitation to presence, sensitivity, and compassion. In the next topics, get ready to dive even deeper. We'll explore the role of cats as guardians of spiritual portals and understand why the soul relationship between humans and felines is so powerful and transformative. Stay with us. Have you ever noticed how, at certain times in your life, your cat behaves in an almost enigmatic way? That scene where they fix their gaze on a blank spot, pupils dilated, seemingly mesmerized by something only they can see. Or when they start obsessively circling a corner of the house, or adamantly refuse to pass through a certain environment, previously so familiar. For many, this sounds like mere feline eccentricity. But for those who see beyond, it's impossible not to wonder, what could my cat be perceiving? What do they see or sense that my eyes cannot grasp? Various spiritual traditions, from ancient Egypt to African, shamanic, and Eastern beliefs, advocate the idea that cats are bearers of a rare sensitivity. They act as guardians, sentinels of energetic and spiritual portals within homes, and at times also between dimensions. According to such cosmologies, there are rifts and invisible portals on Earth through which energies, presences, and even beings from other planes can transit. And it is precisely at these points that cats usually lie down, sleep, or even protect with an attentive posture, like true silent sentinels. The strange behaviors take on another meaning. When your cat observes the void, they may be interacting with subtle presences, moving energies, or even protecting the house from negative influences. When they guard a door, a corridor, or repeatedly sleep in a certain place, they act as if sealing or balancing that portal, cleansing the environment and protecting the residents. There are countless reports of cats who, before major family changes, start acting differently. They become quieter, seek new places to hide, meow intensely, or even patrol environments as if they were attentive to invisible threats. Sensitive people report perceiving subtle changes in the house's energy whenever their felines adopt these unusual behaviors. In the spiritualist view, cats are endowed with an elastic vibrational field, which expands to detect oscillations in subtle planes. Have you noticed how, during illness, grief, or great transformations, it's common to observe your cat sleeping in new places or circling previously ignored spaces? They say that at these moments, they are reinforcing energetic barriers, aiding transitions and transforming vibrational cleanings into real protection for the family. It's no wonder that, in ancient protection rituals, cats are always welcome. The mere presence of a feline is, for many, the certainty that no invisible evil will dare to settle in their home, for where there is a cat, the energetic flow remains in constant vigilance. In moments when everything feels heavy and charged, allow yourself to observe with different eyes. Perhaps, by following your cat's fixed gaze or deep sleep at a specific point, you are witnessing a silent battle for the harmony of your home. Where there is a cat, there is also a guardian, working with loving dedication for the balance of all. Now dive deeper. There's a reason why that cat crossed your path. Many guardians report encounters that even defy logic. A cat that inexplicably appears at your doorstep in a moment of crisis, a kitten that looks deep into your eyes and somehow chooses you in an instant and powerful connection. Spirituality, in many lines, speaks of soul contracts, agreements made on higher planes even before incarnation. According to this view, people and animals can arrange reunions to experience healing, evolution, learning, and even mutual rescue. This would explain that feeling of immediate familiarity, of having reunited with an old friend when meeting your cat. And more, countless reports describe cases where cats appear, almost out of nowhere, in phases when the human is on the verge of an abyss, depression, grief, serious illnesses, extreme loneliness. In a short time, this cat becomes a fundamental pillar in the healing and transformation process, almost as if their existential mission was exactly that, to hold, protect, inspire, and awaken their guardian. Soul contracts also explain why some relationships are brief but intense, that cat that stays for a short time but leaves an unforgettable mark, forever changing the family's life. Or those who return, in different bodies, accompanying the same guardian through various incarnations, always fulfilling functions of protection, teaching, and unconditional love. If you've ever looked into your cat's eyes and felt an inexplicable connection, as if communicating without words, it's very possible that you are reliving an ancient pact of evolving partnership. In the spiritual view, every time an animal and a human meet in such a profound way, they are renewing vows of companionship, support, and mutual growth. There are still those who believe that cats can be spiritual anchors, beings that connect us to our true essence, helping us remember the greater purpose of our existence. Always, of course, through silent gestures, gazes that pierce the soul, and a presence that never abandons. From this perspective, having a cat in your life is no accident. It's the answer to an ancestral search, a choice made long before this existence. Pilgrims from other eras and other worlds, humans and felines, continue to meet and heal each other, crossing time, space, and the boundaries of the invisible. And you, can you feel what kind of pact unites you and your cat? Before we go to the last topic, I want to remind you, if you're enjoying this deep dive, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share in the comments if you believe your relationship with your cat is a result of destiny, soul reunions, or even ancient promises. This is the moment to share your story and discover that around the world, thousands of people feel and live this same magical connection every day. We've reached the end of this fascinating journey, but, in fact, it could be the beginning of a new way of looking at the extraordinary being who sleeps beside you, silently crosses rooms, or simply observes you with that mix of tenderness and mystery. The invitation now is to see your cat not just as a mere pet, but as a spiritual master, a journey companion, and above all, a silent healer of so many pains and blockages. Every purr, every glance, every apparent eccentricity of your feline can be a message, a touch of ancestral wisdom, and an offer of healing that is almost invisible, yet profoundly real. Knowing all this, the next time your cat lies on you, remember, you are receiving an invisible gift of love, protection, and spiritual evolution. You are silently witnessing a ritual that connects dimensions, reinvents bonds, and reinforces the certainty that, in this life, nothing is by chance. Allow yourself to build a bond of gratitude. Observe, embrace, learn. Reflect on the reciprocity of this bond, how you too can be a source of healing, presence, and comfort for your cat. Transform small routines into rituals of consciousness, fueling this virtuous circle of energy, companionship, and mutual evolution. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like to access more stories like this. And, to conclude, I invite you to act. If this content touched your heart, share this video with other cat lovers, leave your testimony in the comments, and help spread this message of connection, mystery, and gratitude. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and whenever you miss a greater meaning, come back here. Because as long as there is a cat and a human sharing the same space, there will also be a sacred bond, capable of healing, protecting, and illuminating. Deep gratitude to you and your feline master. See you in the next video, and may the silent magic of cats continue to bless your path.